Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Hydrogen and Fuel Cells Europe here in Hanover in 2023. Please all have a seat. We have a very interesting talk for you coming up. I would also like to make sure that we get all of you involved in this talk. So if you have a question or anything for the audience, please raise your hand or give me a little wink so I know to come to you with the microphone. So, up next, we'll be talking about how to make hydrogen at scale now. I think this is a very interesting topic, and we'll be talking to a very large industrial player. We'll be talking to the Director of Decarbonization Policy and Partnerships at Yara, Mrs. Edina Ringdal Wickholm. Sorry. Hi.
Thank you.
Welcome. Please have a seat.
Thank you. Thanks.
So can you tell me a bit about Yara? What is it that you do? And
Yeah, well, I feel a bit out of place here because we are a fertilizer company and we're old. We got started in 1905. So we have been producing hydrogen for more than 100 years. But we've never been interested in hydrogen because what we do is we make ammonia. And that's to make our fertilizers. So, yeah, that's why we're here. Suddenly someone was interested in the other part of ammonia, the hydrogen part.
Wow, that's crazy. You guys have been making hydrogen for so long already, so it's not really something new. It's really something that's already been around for, well, more than 100 years. And what do you do in your role at Yara?
Well, I try to... Well, in Yara, that's the easiest part of my work because Yara is very committed to working towards net zero. Outside, but we've done all the decarbonization that we can do by ourselves. We can do no more decarbonization alone. So now we need partnerships. We need to influence policymakers, and we need to find the right industrial partners and the right customers that can use ammonia. So I try to scare people a lot first, like get them really scared, and then get them excited. So just basically, we call it a little kick in the butt in Norwegian. So that's what I do. I go around kicking people in the butt.
Nice. I think that's very important, especially with this market that's developing so rapidly. So you're here to kick people in the butt.
Yes.
That's great. And why are we talking about ammonia? So you guys have been making fertilizer for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I guess that's an important one. Are there any other reasons to be talking about ammonia?
Well, the problem with hydrogen. And I love hydrogen, just to be very clear. But it's difficult to transport. And there will come a time when we have hydrogen pipelines, I am sure. We were here yesterday hearing about the plans for a Norwegian-German hydrogen pipeline. But until we have that pipeline infrastructure in place, we need to be able to transport hydrogen. And the easiest way to transport hydrogen is to turn it into ammonia. So we are, right now, today, we have 15 vessels that are transporting ammonia all around the world. And you don't have to wait until the pipeline is ready in 2030. You can start using hydrogen ammonia right now, and we need to. And this will in no way be a competitor or mean that we don't need a pipeline. We need everything, everywhere, all at once, just like the Oscar-winning movie. And we need to start right now.
Exactly. We have a huge challenge ahead of us. So we're here in Europe. We're talking a lot about hydrogen. Do you think Europe has the capability of producing all of the hydrogen it needs within its boundaries, or do we need some other way to get energy in?
Well, at least not on the short term, because what we need to make green hydrogen is massive amounts of renewable energy to turn into green hydrogen. And at least for now, there's not a lot of places where you have an excess of renewable energy being produced. So you need to get the hydrogen from where you have the renewable energy right now and get it to where it's needed. But we should not in any way have that as sort of, we call it a sleeping pillow in Norway, to make us not invest in renewable energy, because we need to ramp up. And that's, I feel that's one of the biggest hurdles to achieving the green future that we need. We need more renewable energy. But I think in Europe we will be dependent upon imports of at least part of our hydrogen needs. But that's okay, because we can produce it where we can have Africa is a very interesting. Exactly. South America, we have projects in Australia. So it's transporting it. That's important right now.
Yeah, so we need to decarbonize, and there's multiple routes. There's not a single road to Rome, but we need to take all of them at the same time in order to maybe get there, hopefully in time, is I think the...
Yeah, I think that's the... we have no time to lose. We should have been a bit further along than we are, but now at least we have to run to get there. So I think that we can quite easily start doing the shift in Europe, but we need to be, I think that in order for you to be confident to order a ship that will run on ammonia instead of fossil fuels, then you need to know that the ammonia will be there when you need it. So that's what producers like we have to do. We have to give people that certainty that we will have the ammonia that you need. It will be clean, and you can start ordering your ships right now.
Well, that's very good to know. Maybe there are already some questions from the audience. Please, if you have any, raise your hand and I'll come to you. So, Edina, why is it that we're talking about ammonia? Because it's quite a toxic molecule. It's not easy to handle, but I believe we have been handling it for hundreds of years. And how is Yara looking at that? How much ammonia are you already transporting around the world?
Oh, we transport like 20 million tons of ammonia every year, and that's. I think ammonia, like all other chemical substances, needs to be respected, but not feared. So the reason why we turn hydrogen into ammonia as soon as possible is because we find it a bit too difficult to handle the hydrogen. But when we turn it into ammonia, what happens is like nitrogen really attracts hydrogen. So you get this sweet little bundle with an additional hydrogen, so you can get more hydrogen for your buck. And it's, instead of needing to be refrigerized into minus 253 degrees Celsius, you can do it at minus 33, so it's easier. It has less volume, and it's not explosive. But it is toxic. It's not like highly toxic. It's not like chloride, but it's toxic. So you need to make sure that you have a safety, that you have a good safety standards.
Yeah, exactly.
But I promise you, you will smell it before it is dangerous for you. We don't like the smell of ammonia.
Yeah, I've used it as a cleaning product quite a few times, and it's not a pleasure. But yeah, indeed, the fact that we can transport it as a liquid, I think, is huge. We've already seen the benefits of transporting natural gas as a liquid in LNG. I think that's one of the only reasons we can still heat up our houses this winter. And there's a lot of talk now in Europe about opening LNG terminals. Yeah. What is happening on this front in terms of ammonia?
Yeah, because you need ammonia terminals. You need especially you need to have some sort of capacity to house or to store the ammonia. So we already have 2 ammonia terminals here in Germany, in Rostock and in Brunsbüttel, but they're primarily used for exports, actually. So we are now turning the export terminals into import terminals. So we will be able to potentially import 3 million tons of ammonia to Germany every year. So if you need ammonia, just let us know.
Just call up Edina and she will make sure you get all of the ammonia you need. So we've been talking a lot about this urgency. So why do you think it's so important that we act fast?
Well, we've been talking about infrastructure. So for ammonia, you need some infrastructure in order to ramp up. But I'm not quite sure if we are all aware of the massive scale that we need to change. We were talking a bit earlier, and I was looking at how much oil and gas pipelines do we have on the planet, because we've spent the last 100 years turning our planet into a fossil addict, and that's a lot of infrastructure. So if you combine all the oil and gas pipelines, you can circumvent the planet 30 times, 1.18 million kilometers of pipelines. The equivalent for hydrogen is, I mean, it wouldn't make a dent. So we need a lot of infrastructure. And I think we need to understand that even when we decide, even when we are saying that, yes, we're going to do it, it will take time. So we need to do it right now. We need to understand that it's massive scale, but we can do it. I am an optimistic person, but I know we will succeed. But we need to decide to succeed right now.
Yeah, I think we also need some optimism in order to get there. Otherwise, we'll all be sad all day. Any questions from the audience at the moment? No, then let's continue. So you say that there's this huge sense of urgency. What's Yara doing? Where do you see Yara going in maybe the coming years up to 2030?
How long do we have? Because this is my favorite topic, maybe, in the whole world. We are looking into both blue and green projects. So we made a special part of the company called Yara Clean Ammonia, which only deals in blue or green produced ammonia. And they are producing it, they are shipping it, selling it, distributing it. And then the old Yara, that's us, we buy parts of it in order to make green fertilizer. But you can also use the ammonia for fuel, for shipping. You could use it for power production. You can use it in industries for some of them. Some you need pure hydrogen, but some you can use ammonia. And in 10 years' time, I'm pretty sure we will have lots of projects in all of these fields, but especially the revamping of our existing facilities into green or blue projects. That's something that is really close to my heart.
That's good to hear. And do you have any example of maybe some flagships or some projects that you're really proud of that you're doing?
Well, this year, we're opening our pilot at Herøya in Porsgrunn. It's a 24 megawatt electrolyzer plant, which will start producing green hydrogen that we will turn into green ammonia. And I think this we will use for green fertilizer. But we also have a very interesting project in Sluiskil, and which I'm hoping you will hear more about pretty soon, in Brunsbüttel here in Germany. So stay tuned.
Very, very interesting. And 24 megawatts, that sounds quite substantial. Is that about the biggest at the moment? Or
yeah, it will be the biggest in operation now, but it's the pilot. So the full scale will be between 500 and 600 megawatts. So that's really big. Really.
That's huge. That's not big, that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. So we're hoping to have that in operation by 2030. But of course, we are, as all other green hydrogen projects, we need to know that we have sufficient electrical power in order to start. And I know a lot of you are from the electrolyzer companies here. We really need to have good industrialized processes for producing electrolyzers, and I hope that the European manufacturers will be able to provide that.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point to get to the what is it that you really need. So what is it that will help you to really accelerate and get this green ammonia to all of the fertilizers users and all of the ammonia users in the world?
I need everything all at once. But I need power for the green production. I need CCS projects for the blue production. I need we don't need a lot of infrastructure, but the infrastructure that we need that in place. But most of all, I need to be able to tell our end consumers, the ones who wants to use the ammonia, that they can be certain. You will get the ammonia or you will get the hydrogen. And for that, I need the politicians. So yeah, I'm only asking for the world, I mean. But it is important. You should give it to me.
Exactly. I think we should aim for the sky, and then we'll hopefully at least get part of the way there. All right. Thank you very much for being here with me today, Edina, and talking about the super fascinating world of ammonia and how it relates to the hydrogen sector. I'm sure all of you have plenty of questions for Edina and the rest of the team at Yara. You can find them right over there, just behind you on the, let's call it the island of Norway, with all of the Norwegian partners. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And, yeah, please have a chat with Edina over there.